Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about stop killing games. But this initiative, I want to break down what it is, why it's important, and why it feels like there is this strange hatred of it from big content creators like Pirate Software, and it's actually getting a ton of backlash. But I want to break it down because this is maybe the most requested topic ever on the channel. I mean, you guys have no idea how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments and messages and stuff. People saying, why aren't you discussing stop killing games? And this is a very, very important project. Now, stop killing games, it's an initiative that absolutely needs to happen. Right now, if you buy a game, if you buy a physical game, let's assume it's the good kind, the kind where the entire data is on the disc or on the cartridge, you can pop this in and play it forever. At least that's the idea, right? The same way you can play PlayStation 1 games on a PlayStation 1 as long as the disc and the console work. The idea is that if you buy something, you're supposed to own it. But this last decade, the industry has made a big shift. This big push towards live service games with constant updates with a forced internet connection has made it where there are now literally thousands of games that are just gone. They're unplayable. And a lot of them are weird because some of them even have physical discs. Battleborn, Overwatch, Concord. I'll admit that a lot of the games that are going offline are bad, but it is weird that you can purchase a game that later is taken away from you. And the Stop Killing Games initiative is basically a big push that says if you buy a game, you own it. Even if the company shuts down, even if the servers shut down, even if they go to other projects, you as the consumer deserve access to some sort of playable version of it. So let's break down the initiative. Let's break down the Pirate Software drama and his weird lies about it and why this is important. This is why you should be paying attention to it. Hi, hope you're having a great day. I am DreamcastGuy, and I hope you're having a good one. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this is definitely a pro-consumer rights movement. Now, essentially, what's going on is that as we sort of approach this all-digital future, you guys know that I've been very anti-Game Pass. And it's not that it's not a good deal. Game Pass is a good deal. But the problem is the fact that now those games don't physically exist. If you buy an Xbox game right now, even if you buy like a physical box, the game isn't really in there. You put the disc in and it completely installs off the internet, which means in the future, when those servers go down and when Xbox gets shut down, when those studios get shuttered, those discs become inert. The game you have currently literally on your shelf just gets taken out of your collection. This is essentially, people are trying to get this enshrined in law to make it where if you pay for something, it cannot be rendered completely unplayable. Now, to be clear, they're not asking for a fully compatible version forever. What this essentially saying is that they want to make it where if you buy something, companies are required to make it so that after it shuts down, you can have some sort of peer-to-peer connection, fan servers, give the code to people to make it where somebody can make some semblance of it work. Now, I've been very passionate about this because back in the day, I used to play literally for years on World of Warcraft private servers. Now, if you didn't know this, but World of Warcraft, it was a constantly updating MMO. Every 2 years, you'd get a big new expansion, whether it was Wrath of the Lich King or Mists of Pandaria or Warlords of Draenor and stuff. And a lot of people wanted the original version back, that slow, grindy, I mean, admittedly, less complicated version of the game, and Blizzard just wouldn't make it. So people basically found these basically archived versions of the older game and started running, admittedly, illegal private servers. People just made it for themselves. And these existed for years. Occasionally they get shut down. Occasionally Blizzard would sue somebody. But this was the only way to play the MMO for like 10 years, the only way it was playable. And finally, Blizzard listened to people and went, okay, we'll bring it back. We'll let people play the original version of WoW. And it was called WoW Classic. And I still play WoW Classic. I still enjoy WoW Classic. But to me, that was sort of my black pilling moment. That it was weird that I could love a game, I could want to pay a game, I could want to experience it, and the only way to have it was by illegal hacked servers that other people are doing the upkeep on. Now, I want to go through this because a lot of people have been talking even more about Stop Killing Games. This initiative is currently being focused on the EU. They're currently doing like campaigns and stuff where over there, they're a lot better about consumer rights. It's harder to pass stuff here in the United States, especially because corporations in the United States have so much power, so much lobbying ability. It's hard to get them to do anything positive if it's not directly profitable. But a lot of people are bringing it up because it is weird about stuff like this. EA is shutting down the Anthem servers. Players will not be issued refunds, and the game will no longer be playable after January 12th. I have Anthem. I've played Anthem. I've played a lot of Anthem, and it's just gone. And a lot of people talk about the fact that this is extra weird because I feel like we're entering this strange fugue state of ownership. If I buy a DVD, I can play that DVD forever until it breaks. If I buy a CD, I can listen to it in my car or on my CD player while I'm at the gym, whatever, right? Whereas if I buy a game, a lot of times on the actual disc itself, they claim you don't really own it. You just own it as long as we're giving you permission to access it. In fact, I have to show you this. This is so insane. Ubisoft has updated their terms of service that said if you, like for some reason the servers go down, they want you to destroy your physical copy of the disc. Ubisoft is saying not only do you not own the game, you will never own the game. No matter how much you pay for the game, you'll never own the game. And a lot of people are specifically the Stop Killing Games movement for all the lies around it that we're going to get into. The bottom line of it is that you deserve to be able to have access to what you've already bought. We're not saying you got to make every game offline playable forever. We're not saying every game has to have a start to finish single player mode. It is specifically saying if it currently exists in a certain state, it is legally necessary for it to maintain that state to some degree. Next up, God, here was the crazy thing. The initiative is getting very, very big. I think it just passed 1 million signatures in Europe. I'm going to put a link to the thing if you want to sign up, sign the petition, basically. The whole goal is to get enough attention from the government that they sort of respond, that they start to realize, oh, this is litigation that's important to consumers worldwide. And when they start doing this, the lobbyist groups of Europe, this is not a joke, basically put this weird statement out saying, it's bad. This will make stuff more expensive. Games are already too expensive to make. This will actually kill games. These are the companies publicly speaking out against it. Riot Games, Netflix, Sega, Roblox. This is Take-Two Interactive, which obviously is Rockstar, Ubisoft, ZeniMax, Epic Games. It's a lot of names that I feel like you wouldn't really expect. Some of them like Microsoft, of course, but it is weird to just see some of these companies that are classically actually kind of better about listening to consumers saying, this is bad for gaming. And I do think that a lot of it is being stirred up because of Pirate Software's lies. Now, this is the thing. Minecraft creator has made fun of Pirate Software streamers' ridiculous stance against Stop Killing Games. Just to verify, yes, this is what I was talking about. If buying a game is not a purchase, then pirating a game is not theft. This is a very classic meme people talk about. If you're going to claim to me that by buying the game, by paying a subscription fee, by actually owning it, by logging in, by participating, by leveling up, by getting ownership, by having my participation in it invalidated, by being able to say we can just flip a switch and the game you bought, that thing you love, is just unmade, it's basically saying, okay, then I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to pirate it. I'm going to do other stuff in order to get access to it. I'm going to find some way to play it that actually makes my stuff feel more permanent, my purchase more permanent. So let's get into why this guy, you may not have heard of him, Pirate Software is a very strange guy. I'll admit, I watched this guy quite a bit for a couple months. Specifically, there was a thing called World of Warcraft Hardcore Classic. It's basically like if you've ever played Diablo, hardcore is death equals delete. If you die, your character is just off the grid. It's very fun, actually, because every fight, every encounter, every quest becomes a lot more epic when you're afraid of, well, bad luck, bad pulls, causes of death. I watched a lot of his hardcore streams. Well, he basically turned out to be kind of a weirdo, kind of a scummy weirdo. I'm not going to get into all of his stuff because, my God, this guy definitely has issues. But he has been obsessively talking about the evils of the Stop Killing Games initiative, saying, people are calling me a liar and then I misrepresent. He did. I don't know why. Sometimes some people like this, they can never, ever admit fault. He refuses to admit that he was wrong. But basically what he says is like, look, here's to recap. My main issue with the initiative is that it's broad in its approach to change the industry and change the language, not the fact. Request that all games stay in a functional, playable state. This is not feasible for all games at a technical level and could potentially restrict developers from making online-only games like MOBAs, MMOs, user-generated content. The list is not exhaustive, and it doesn't matter if you do or don't like those kinds of games. Effectively, this has the potential to restrict future development by making kick-ass experiences because it locks a weight of their decisions. Okay. Now let's talk about why this is wrong and this is a lie. Basically what's happening is a lot of these companies are already spending hundreds of millions of dollars on development. There's so many big budget projects that, in my opinion, there's a lot of games that are very much over budget. But the whole idea behind it is that the Stop Killing Games initiative is just saying, give us some sort of access to it if you're going to shut it down. We're not asking for infinite. We're not asking for backporting as well. A clear part of the initiative is going forward. Basically, if you made, obviously, Concord as an example, Concord can't come back. I don't think anybody wants it to come back, but essentially it's saying that in the future, if you make some sort of looter shooter or something like that, you are required to give people some ability to play it. Something like that. Like, understand some genres are going to be more accessible than others. If you have something that's purely, hey, there's a cloud server that generates every piece of content, every piece of dialogue, that stuff's going to be harder to do. But I guess my point is the fact that I just don't believe the lie that this is somehow going to break games. The next great, crazy World of Warcraft classic style moments aren't going to happen because, oh no, the servers have to talk to some nebulous corporate entity. This, to me, it's running defense. A lot of people think that this guy, Pirate Software, he has said some stuff that is very strange. If you look at a lot of his videos now are getting completely downvote bombed. Everybody is like, oh man, everybody is just constantly ragging on this guy now. Because what's funny about it is that this dude, God, he's losing so many subscribers. Here, let me refresh this just to be toxic. 130,000 subscribers lost in the last 30 days is wild. But the thing is that the whole initiative is just about preservation. Did you know that 70% of all games ever released are just unplayable now? 70%. A lot of them don't exist on any platform. They're not playable in a back state. There are so many games that are already just lost to time. I'm a big fan of Grandia. Did you know there was a short-lived Grandia MMORPG? Apparently it wasn't very good. There's like 4 screenshots literally in the world that exist, but I kind of wish I had a chance to play it. What about previous versions of the Warhammer MMO? These games that are online, they matter. They have fan bases. They have an important impact on the world. And I guess the whole point of the Stop Killing Games initiative is that as these closures increase, as these studios continue to unfortunately get shuttered and stuff, I can't help but think that the Stop Killing Games initiative might be the most important thing in gaming. And I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. I want my stuff to exist. I want to make it where my purchases matter. I want to make it where the games I'd like to play stay playable. I think about this a lot, but I feel weird about the fact that you and I, a lot of us, we're in our 30s. We have nostalgia. We have games we grew up with that are still playable today. Maybe in slightly different versions, like I love Final Fantasy VI. There's a lot of different versions of Final Fantasy VI, right? But it's still playable. I do feel bad for a lot of those kids out there that are growing up with games today that are online only, that only currently exist because the servers that are maintaining them. And I guess I think about the fact that what happens when those servers get shut off? Those kids will not be able to experience the glory of nostalgia that we have to go back and play those games you love, to relive those memories, to find extra quests and say, hey, here's the coolness I missed growing up. Here's that extra cool beat. Stop killing games matters from a consumer standpoint, from a gamer standpoint, from a legal standpoint. And people that are talking out against it are either being malicious or they're being moronic. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts because as an ex-Pirate Software fan, this was definitely that straw that broke the camel's back. This guy is a weirdo. This guy's a liar, and stop killing games. Check out the initiative down below. Hopefully you guys are into it, and I'm glad I finally got a chance to talk about this. I love you very much. Be sure to play some Persona. Have a great day, and keep dreaming. Oh yeah, give this video a like. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.